Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our podcast channel with the When All Things Are Possible, when all things are manifested, the good, the bad, and the worst. So, of course, today's topic is we just want to say, dun, 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 dun. I'm like, Paulo just won his fourth fight with the featherweight champion belt. I'm like, Fuego, people, fuego. So I'm going to just tell you right now, if you guys are not in my newsletter, I would suggest to plug yourself in because every time when Paulo wins a fight, I make an announcement. And it's a very heartfelt one from the newsletter that I sent. So for my main day ones, thank you for subscribing there and reading all the newsletters. It was a very touching, heartfelt one because Paulo, I've never been so proud. Very, very proud. You know, he is my nephew, but he calls me Ate like big sister because we're too close in age. I do not want him to call me auntie. That's just too weird. But with that said, I'm gonna be, diving in a little bit about what happened in his fight because I was not there. Wah wah. Very sad because somebody didn't tell me it was for the belt.
It's
But
all
with
good.
that
No worries.
with that said, I was there in spirit. I knew he was gonna win. I felt that in my bones. There was never a doubt about it. So he manifested this, and things are happening. So, well, first and foremost, Paulo, I kind of want to know, how do you feel right now? Knowing the fact that you're getting closer to your dreams. Like, how did you feel in that moment when you got that belt? What was in your mind?
Well, in reality, I wasn't s- I wasn't so in the moment, I wasn't so happy with my performance. So I did do enough to win. I did do enough to secure the belt, but right off the rip, right off that last bell, because it went all three rounds, I was telling my coach that I had so much to work on. Um, I think mainly because as a athlete, I visualized what I wanted to do in that cage,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I need to be better on how to visualize because I visualized myself being very dominant in the fight.
Mm.
Um, I just gave myself really high expectations of what I wanted to do in the fight. So when the fight came and I wasn't able to do exactly what I visualized, it kind of dawned on me that, you know, I am not where I want to be.
Mm.
But I realized at the end of the day, I did get better. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm far away from where I started,
Mm-hmm.
and that it takes it's part of the process. So I'm just gonna trust the process. I'm gonna just keep my head down and keep working hard. So until the day comes where I'm starting to see the results of my hard work. I even that night I saw the results of my hard work. Um, but yeah, I wasn't too happy, but at the end of the day, I can't be too hard on myself. I gotta take the positives out of it. I did get better that day. He was a tough opponent, and those tough fights are just ultimately making me a lot better than if I had a 3 second or a 1 minute fight. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to fight, to have another second chance. God gave me this opportunity, this path to pursue my dreams and goals as a young kid.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me a second chance, so I'm really grateful. I'm surrounded by a great team. I have a good head coach, a great manager. He's the same guy. Um, but other than that, he has developed all of us. His son is our captain, and he has a girlfriend that's also a dominant featherweight or flyweight in the women's divisions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so grateful to have everybody that I have on my team. Um, and I'm just willing to just keep on putting the work and taking it one step at a time until God says, okay, you're on to something else. But other than that, right now, it seems like this is the path he wants me to be on, and he's not telling me otherwise. So
Mm-hmm.
just super grateful, so super grateful, knowing that it is literally around the corner of my dreams coming true. I mean, it feels like my dream already came true because I'm living the life of a an athlete that I would have dreamed of as a kid. It just wasn't this wasn't the sport that I thought it was gonna be, but it is the lifestyle that I did yearn for. I never settled for anything less of my dreams, and God gave me the opportunity. So I'm super grateful. I think that's the main word, just grateful.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I saw there was a picture that you guys saw in the newsletter. I clipped it from one of your friends, and I think that was the bearing moment when I felt that energy where there was an expression in that picture, which I'll give you guys a little clip of what that looks like. So it's right here on the screen. And I just want to let you know you felt like there was this disbelief, like, I can't believe I did it type moment.
Mhm.
What was your thoughts? I mean, literally, there was like crowds behind you. I'm sure there was
Yeah,
like a lot of congratulatory, but
yeah.
I know there was an energy that said in your face, like, I can't believe I did it. What was happening there?
In the moment, I was just kind of soaking it in. Oh, my family was there. I even like so I was in the cage. Obviously, I was disappointed a little bit, but then when I got out, I was like, okay, like it was crazy. I have a belt around my waist. Uh, you know, I am 4-0 now, and I've been writing that down. I've been trying to just day by day manifesting it by doing the work. Manifesting isn't just writing it down and then praying for it to happen. It's actually doing the work. So every single day I was doing the work, making sure I didn't miss any type of session that I needed to do to get the job done. I had a plan and I stuck to it. Um, so in the moment, I was just grateful. Um, And then I saw my parents, like they were right there outside the cage, and I went to them and I started crying. For me, sometimes it's weird how I like tears start running down my, like I was kind of confused to why I was crying, but I think at the end of the day, I'm just happy knowing that my parents get to see me um thrive in in the career that I want. I'm grateful that they're able to see me passionate about what I do. Um, so I was just so overwhelmed with emotion at the time when I saw my parents, but when I saw everybody in the stands after, it just felt like I felt great.
This
It
is
was just like,
surreal.
okay, like people are actually here to see me fight, and I felt so much love. And yeah, I just felt loved. Like it was like a great because it's mainly my family and my friends, their friends. So I knew everybody who was there for to see me fight. So it's like I was just so grateful to be like this is the close knit group that I knew. Like everybody I that was cheering me on, I knew. So it wasn't like I didn't know them, but yeah, I just felt loved, felt great to be able to finally see the results of my labor. And yeah, that's the expression on my face. And that it was a tough fight. So that was another expression to why I was feeling the way I felt. I felt it right away. The aftermath of a tough fight, right when I walked out the cage, you could tell.
Oh yeah, I could definitely tell. That's why I said I needed to take that picture and put it in my newsletter because that was the energy that I felt like you came out like this did this really happen to me just now?
Yeah,
Like you look like you were in an out of body experience.
yeah,
You were literally like, and I think that's what you were saying. Like that's what you mean by, I don't know why my there's tears that comes out and I can't explain that why. I think what was happening in that moment is you were coming out of your out of body experience. This is like I said, when you're in spirituality, you're not just in the mind, you're literally connected to the soul. So when the soul speaks, you're like, is this really happening? Is this like one of those, I can't believe it's not butter, but like it's like I cannot believe like these things are happening. Like all these amazing things that you never thought would ever happen in real life, but it is happening. And that's what that
Yeah.
soul means. Like now you're kind of understanding in some sense when I'm talking about the soul, like it doesn't think, it's staying still. That's where
Yeah.
you're at in that moment when you're like tearing up and you couldn't understand why. And then all these overwhelming feelings are coming out, and you're like, did this just happen? Like all of these things that I was not thinking about, but I was writing it down before it even happened, and then you took action to it. Now, when you said about manifestation, it's not just writing it down or praying about it. You're absolutely right. So I will tell this to the audience. When he says this, he also took action. So remember, when you're manifesting, you're not just writing it down, you're not just putting it into prayer, but you're also putting it into action. So it has to be think, feel, vision, and action. So that's exactly what he did. He thought about it, he felt it, he visioned it, and then he put it into action. Because guess what?
Yeah.
If you don't have a vision for anything in the future, or you don't have a vision of anything of what you're actually thriving for, how are you going to put it in action? Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what was happening with you. You were having an out of body experience. In that moment, you weren't in your mind anymore. You were literally in the soul presence of God. You were in a soul presence,
Mm.
and you were like, you cannot believe it. And then here's the best part about being that connected to your soul presence is everything starts becoming more attracted to you. Like you start noticing the gravitation of, like you even said it, like I feel overwhelmingly loved. There's so much love all around me. And that's exactly how I feel. Like I tell people all the time, when you're really connected to your soul, that love gravitates around you. Even the ones that looks at you as frenemies, those frenemies that we all have, they gravitate to you into this honest and like, I don't like you, but why am I gravitating to you? That's what it means to be soul present. And that's what God did for you. Yeah, you weren't doing well in the cage for a little bit there, but now I'm going to ask you this question. What made you snap out of it from that? I wasn't doing well, but what made you snap out to victory?
So it kind of lingered throughout the night. Like even at the end of the night, I was hanging out with two of my teammates, and I just realized that like no matter how hard I can be on myself, that I did get better that day. Like that is a stepping stone to where I want to be. And so I went through it. I'm super grateful that uh I got the results that I wanted. It was weird. I didn't I expected that result, you know? Um because I put in the work and I stayed disciplined with it. I didn't expect anything less than getting my hand raised. Um and it showed like all the each and every round I had some adversity, but I always came up on top. Like I always ended the round on a good note. So uh
We're the opponent.
yeah, but yeah, no, it switched when I realized I got better that day. Like I took the positive out of it.
Good.
I took the positive because it was so negative in my mind. Like, oh, I could have done this. I didn't throw my jab enough. I didn't really set up my shots. Um, he was able to get a good shot on me. Um, so it was like spiraling down a little bit. But then I was with my teammates and I realized, no matter how hard I can be, at the end of the day, I got better. So that's one of my mottos is 1% to full potential. So it's like I am hard on myself, but I got my 1%. I got better that day. No
Yeah.
matter how small the progress is, it's progress is still progress.
Yeah.
So that's
And
what I took out of it, and I ran with it, and I feel good now, like knowing that I just have to heal up and continue getting better. There's no way I can get worse. I could just always get better
yeah.
as long as I stay focused and continue the discipline I've been having.
And honestly, what was going on over there, too, why that energy came about in the cage is because this is one of the things that's probably very important is to keep focusing on the mind as well, too. Yes, granted, this is a very dangerous sport. Just by any means, everybody who is watching this, For all you folks out there who watches MMA, boxing, any kind of type of punching and kicking somebody, y'all know that does not feel good. That hurts, okay?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it does not feel good. People just, it's funny perspective wise. Let's just talk about perspective here a little bit. People are watching this and they're making comments like kick him in the booty hole or whatever, whatever, right? With all the comments. They're not even realizing how tough it is of the sport that you guys are getting yourselves into. So, mad respect
Yeah.
for all opponents that came in, whether it is your worthy
Agree.
opponent that lost, whether it's somebody who won. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, everybody in those cages that was in that fight was winners that night. Because
Mhm.
just going in there was already bravery. You know what
Right.
I mean? Just going in there was already bravery. It was
Right.
already at the point and level where you guys all won that night. Because the way I see it is, can I see myself kicking somebody in the booty hole over there? Can I see somebody like punching me in the face like God knows how long, like 10 rounds, 3 rounds, you know what I mean? People don't look at that perspective, and I just have to really stress it out there enough that Paulo is not just not only is he just chasing dreams over here, but he is living in action full of it. And mad respect for Paulo and his teammates and all his opponents for going in there, because for me, if I go in there, I straight run. I'm sorry. I'm like, I will straight like, listen, I'm going to lose. Like I'm out. Like it's not my thing, but you're coming in there with a good mindset. And honestly, I think what happened there when you felt that negativity popping in a little bit, and this is normal, you guys, there's going to be a little bit of jitters that's happening, especially when you're going for the belt this time. I think that's what happened. I think you had a little bit of jitters and you were like, oh crap. And then the mind started kind of settling in, like, uh oh. I'm like, I'm not doing good.
Yeah.
Something's up. But then you snapped out of it and, like, nope, I got to snap out of it. I was like, I
Yeah.
gotta get it. I just gotta get it and focus on that, and then that's why you won. I mean, can you agree with me? What's going on there?
Yeah. I mean, I think the main reason was like as the fight was growing, this is not the fight that I visualized in my mind. So like I just knew, okay, I mean, if things aren't gonna go exactly how I wanted to, I just gotta make sure that I gotta do the right things to win this fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I did get a couple good exchanges. I got on top. I had some good ground and pound. I almost ended the fight in the first round. Um uh a lot of my defense or my takedowns and my grappling was there. I was able to pass guard, things like that. So I still was able to do what I needed to do, but it just I had too high of a high expectation for myself. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's bad. I think I just need to stick to it and keep putting in the work because those high expectations that I have are going to be manifested if I just keep putting in the work. I
Yep.
can't expect it to be w exactly how I wanted to fight the first four fights of my career. You
Right.
know, like the way I want to fight and visualize being as dominant as I want to can be there, just I need to keep working. I just need to keep getting better and getting better. So it'll come. I know it will. If I just keep focused, stay disciplined, keep working hard, those visualizations I have for myself will manifest if I just keep my head down.
Right.
And so I was disappointed because I'm not happy where I want to be or where I want I'm not happy where I'm at, but um I understand that I did get better and I'm closer than I was yesterday,
Yeah.
than my last fight.
Right. Exactly. And just to let everybody know, I would say you have 3 more fights left until you go straight to pros. Am I correct on that?
Yes, yes, that's the plan. Yeah,
So
and if everything goes well, I can get out of these fights injury free. I'm planning on doing the next three this year. So then next year, coming 2026, I'll be a pro.
So,
But God willing, we
quick
see. It's
question.
his plan over mine. So,
You know
um,
what? He already had it blueprinted. Who says you can't create that? You already listen, you guys. He is my student. If you guys did not read it in my newsletter, he has been part of my personal healing and coaching program. Since the day I knew he was fighting, we he had a goal, he had a dream. He wanted to make this happen. Guess what? He put in the work, not just in actionful form, but he put in the work spiritually. Guys, you guys cannot achieve anything if you are not spiritually connected. Whether that is Christianity with God, everything in innate with your soul. You're talking to your soul here, you guys. Okay, the soul doesn't think. Honestly, the soul doesn't think. The mind, granted, it does help us out to making sure that we're making best decisions, making sure that we're focused into our fights, right? Like not getting hurt. Okay, we bob and weave, people bob and weave. I'm all like, so we want to make sure that we defend ourselves correctly. But when I say being connected to the soul is really the energy that you're gravitating of what you want. When you're connected so deeply into that, this is the reason why me and Paula created this podcast, is because we want you guys to understand that me and Paulo, we're not just, trying to attract breadcrumbs of dreams here. Although granted, God gives us a little breadcrumbs. You know what I mean? Let's be real. God gives us a little breadcrumbs here. But we're not here, planting breadcrumbs for ourselves. You know what I mean? We're planting
Yeah.
big, big dreams, like big things to happen. And that is what Paulo is doing right now. He's a big testament to that, and you guys are seeing that unfold. So when you become pro, where are you going to fight if that is, I mean, I'm not even going to say if, when that comes. Where
It'll
are you going
still
to be
be in
fighting?
this region. So like this regional area, Southern California, I'll still be fighting out in maybe Nevada or the farthest I think I'll go is maybe Oregon.
Hmm.
So different places, but staying around the West Coast area. Um,
Just
we'll
know
see. I don't
Auntie Erica is
know.
going to be flying over there. Just
That'll
know
be
Angel
awesome. But yeah,
Healing
no,
is going to be
any
flying over there.
yeah, so that'll be cool. But yeah, just different pro cards. There'd be I'm pretty sure my coach still likes it might be possible that I'll fight in Mexico in Tijuana, Mexico
Nice.
as a pro. So that could be a possibility as well. But we'll see. Like there's definitely endless possibilities, but those are some of the places that I know that my coach is well connected with and knows the promoters, knows the matchmakers. So
Yep.
um yeah, that could be options.
Very proud, very, very proud. And I just want to say congratulations on the halfway mark. Somebody who didn't tell me, I was trying to watch the fight and the Instagram went black. And I said, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I was like, I can't even watch my nephew fight. I'm so
Yeah.
disappointed. But with that said, I was glad with the results that came through. And you manifested that so beautifully. And even though, quote unquote, you didn't feel like you did your best, honestly, in my point of view, you were already the winner just entering the cage, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's much respected to everyone. People, like I said, people just watch this fight thinking, oh, it's just entertainment. Y'all do not know who's getting hurt behind the cage. I was like, y'all do not know how hard those hits are. You guys don't know how badly those injuries can become. But guess what? You know what, Paulo? Looking at you right now, you're coming out unscathed every time when you have a fight. So, God's really protecting you. How are you feeling about all of that?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that he clothes me with his he's my protector. So like I always think about that. Like he plates me with gold plates every time. So I always visualize that. Like spiritually, like I always visualize how God's protecting me, walking behind me, walking in front of me, using his angels to, protect me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh I visualize a lot of that stuff, like spiritually, just like when I stare down at my opponent, I'm not the only one staring at my opponent. I know I have angels with me staring down my opponent too. So
Mm-hmm.
I just always visualize God on my side. And if I have that, I don't think I'll ever lose a fight because I don't think God ever loses. So,
Yeah.
um, but I just gotta stay by his side because I can lose it too. I can let my ego get the best of me. I could stop being humble and that's when God's gonna let me get humbled by my opponent. So
Yep.
just realizing I just gotta stay by him and do his will for my life, not mine. So
Yep.
If I
And you know how
stayed
that works, guys. Whenever you guys get egotistic, if you guys let the ego take over you, you know how God's going to humble you real quick.
right,
Real
yeah,
quick. I mean,
exactly.
you've seen that before, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You're like,
And
I'm
then
thinking about that
I've
right now.
gone, I've yeah, yeah. I had a thought too there earlier today or yesterday about like the Filipino culture and how like ego can really play a part in it. It's like because um it had to do with along the lines of when when your kid does really well, they love to brag about you to other people.
Yep.
And I think I don't know if that could be just a parent like a parent thing, like that's just how
Being proud.
people being proud of their kids. I think it's a big thing. I think a lot of people like to be proud of their kids, but it's I realized that like they're doing that because they feel like they did it. Like they made their kid that way. When they don't realize that
Oh.
God is the reason why, like God is both my mom's parent, my parents' parent, and my parent. So like
think I know where
it's
this is
like
going.
they can't take credit for what God did. You know what I mean? Like that's God's doing, but I feel like they can be so prideful about their kids because that's their kid and you know what I mean? I don't know. It just that's a thought I had.
You know, it's so funny you say that. I can concur. There's so many Filipino parents out there with this whole Filipino pride crap. Sorry, no offense to my culture. Okay, by any means necessary, if anybody is watching this, cultural appropriation is the biggest thing for me. I am not here to be offensive by any means in this channel.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will say this though, as a Filipino myself, I do see that as a common thing. There's too much Filipino pride crap going on. I mean,
Yeah.
granted,
But
granted.
what's crazy is like they'll be prideful about their kid because they did something like successful, but they won't like the sacrifices that you have to do, or they won't like the cons that come with the success. You know what I mean? Like the
Mm-hmm.
other things, but they'll be proud that oh he did this, he did that,
Because of us.
like but if it comes with the price, they're like oh but you should do this, you should do that. I don't know. It's just weird.
I mean,
But
it's
I
almost kind of
understand
like
it.
Manny
Like I get
Pacquiao if you
more,
think about it.
huh?
It's almost kind of like Manny Pacquiao if you think about it. You know how many Filipino out there are like when they see Manny Pacquiao, they're like, "Oh, Filipino, like he's a fighter," and I'm like in my head, like, "Bro, he's a guy." So like for
Yeah.
me, it's like, yeah, I'm
I get it though.
proud
I
what
think
Manny
it's in
Pacquiao
a
did
lot
to
of
us.
cultures like people stick to their people, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
So because they relate more to that person. But if you look at more of people as human beings and more of like we're not separated by culture, but we're all people with two eyes, one nose, one mouth, like we all speak just different languages. We have different cultural differences, but we're technically everybody's the same. Like every culture is different in their culture, but everything kind of if you look at two different families from a different like everything kind of is the same in a way. Where like you'll have your drama, you'll have, you know, everybody wants to spend time with their family, family is important.
Family togetherness, closeness.
All of that, it's all the same, but it's like we eat different food.
Hmm.
We party a little different. I don't know. It's just,
I
and
mean,
God created us all though, at the end of the
right.
day.
I mean, if
So
I could just chime in a little bit here, I think I know exactly where you're coming from on this one. So when you're speaking that way, I completely understand where you're coming from because I'll give an example. Okay, Jenny, you're gonna see this, okay, when you watch this video, but I'm gonna put out my friend here, Jenny, right? Jenny is an artist from the Philippines. She's an actress, she's a singer. And when people know who she is, I notice the difference in behavior. As if like oh my God, she's my friend. Like she's an artist from the these are famous people. Just to let she's a famous person. She don't care about that stuff. Just to let everybody know. Even though she was an artist in the past, she was a celebrity. She does not care about that stuff. This woman likes a quiet life. It's like which is hilarious because some of us are striving for this fame. This woman is striving for quietness because she's already been in the midst of that fame and the crowdedness and the craziness. So when I say this with love is that everybody who knows her will always say, "Oh, she's my friend, she's my friend." But the true thing is that are you really treating her as a friend? Are you treating her as a celebrity and you want that status, credit? Right? So that's kind of like the same thing with our parents sometimes, and they're not really aware of that they're doing that to their kids. Because you're doing all the work. You're the one who's putting in the work. You're the one who's speaking to God about that. And here's your parents. Not by any means, to my cousins, I'm not doing this out of defensiveness if you guys are watching this.
And yeah, like I don't think like when I say this, I'm not like saying that this is what my parents are doing. I thought of it as a whole,
Right.
like everybody just loves to brag about their kids.
And you're not the only one. Like I said, this is a
Yeah,
common thing because I'm telling you, like for take it from my example, right? I own a business, guys. Like I literally own a business. It's very successful right now. And I did all the brunt work. I cried, I shed tears, I tears with blood on that, okay, everything. But then you got these parents, telling me, oh, it's because, I made sure that she went to school X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, in my mind, X, Y, and Z, no, you didn't. I was like, no, you didn't. I was like, you were thinking I was crazy for chasing this dream. You were thinking I was crazy for having a business. You thought I was crazy. You know what I mean? They're looking
yeah,
at me like I was crazy. But here's the truth when that crazy thing happens to come to life, all of a sudden that flips a switch. It's like, oh, I'm not crazy anymore. I'm just
yeah,
wait, what? I was like, you just told me a long time ago I was crazy for having a business. Now I'm no longer crazy. And instead, it flipped the switch of, oh, I'm proud of you. And then it'll boast to outside of people like, oh yeah, she's my daughter. She's my this. All of a sudden now I'm a daughter. Before you wanted to disown me, for having this crazy dream. And this is
yeah,
a normal factor because you know why? And I think the reason why, and it's not wrong of them to feel this way because this is just their perspective, and I think they're just not aware of it. I really believe what's happening there is they are thinking that if they don't see it, they can't believe it. The only time they'll ever believe in you is if they actually see it. Now that they're
yeah.
really
They
actually
walk by sight, not by faith.
exactly
Yeah,
because you and
yeah,
I, we both talk, Paulo, that we go by faith every single day.
right.
Every day. Our talks in this podcast is about the leap of faith,
Yeah,
going into the unknown, jumping into uncertainties, while
yeah,
our family members are scared to still go into those unknowns and uncertainties and they want to plan out the future and then they end up wondering why is it that I'm having anxiety and then all of us and you and I are in the present moment,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Or they just there's very reasons like they can't. I notice people are so like their faces are long a lot of the times and yeah, I don't know why. Like it's interesting to me. And then like as a person who enjoys like just I feel like has a positive outlook on life. You wanna try to help them and help them think more positively, but like it's up to them to do the work to find themselves and find their passions, find their love, find their because like you can't do that for them.
No, not at all.
You can only just inspire them.
Exact. That is the key word. Inspire. We are not here to change anyone. We are not here to force anything by any means of what their
Yeah.
path is supposed to look like. But we are supposed to be the primary example of inspiration, enlightenment. Whatever we
Yeah.
go through, again, Guys, you see me and Paulo, we're having these strive moments, these glories that you see on social media and pictures. But behind the scene, you guys don't know the tears that we put to ourselves, the amount of work that we put into ourselves. Nobody sees behind the scenes of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think the amount of work to even just get past that thought process,
The fear.
because I think a lot of people are um they never, yeah, like I said, like you said, they never kind of touch base on like what else is out there, what else can I achieve. They kind of just went off of what was the thought process of how it was when they grew up.
Right.
Because I think me and you are testaments that we developed a way of thinking that we didn't grow up thinking this way. You know, we had to build this way of thinking for ourselves, and it took many, many days,
Many
many
sleepless nights.
hours of just, yeah, many hours of just searching out there of what else is there that, you know, who we truly are, you know, like
Hmm.
uh and I think everybody needs to do that work because that's when they find, that's when they can connect to their soul and understand who they were created to be, because we're
Yes.
all created to be someone. And when you're doing something that you're not created to be, then that's when you find, like, I guess the mundanes of life. You get, I don't think you start to find, um you find yourself in the things that weren't meant for you.
Yeah. And you
So it's like
manage to get that
you're
peace.
not becoming who you really truly are.
Yeah. And you manage to end up getting that peace. I like how you say, the be part, you said to be the being, basically be
Yeah.
in stillness. That's really what you're saying. It's like literally when you're
Yeah.
in the being and you're actually following what you're supposed to be, that's really what it is. The being in stillness, being in the be. I'm repeating myself when I say the bee. No, I'm not talking about the yellow bumblebee, okay? I'm talking about the bee. When I
Yeah.
say bee, it's like soul is not the like the what the heck is it called? The be do have. That's not how it works. It's not the be do have. It's the do have be. It's the do have and be, not the be, do, have. And that's going to be very, very, I'm going to make you think,
Yeah,
Paula,
because
when I
if
talk
you
about
be
that.
do have, that's like you're working and then you're able to get what you have.
Right.
But when you have do be, you understand what you already have is enough to, or and then you become who you're
Be.
supposed to be rather
Yes.
than
The
being
do,
and
have,
then
be.
having.
Do, have, be. Guess what?
Yeah.
It's literally an energy thing. Do is what you're doing. Have is what you already have. The be is already what you are instilled by God, which is the being, the be, the soul.
Yeah.
Do, have, be, not the other way
Yeah.
around. Be, have, or be, have, do, or be, do, have.
Yeah.
See how that works,
Yeah,
everybody?
it's
How that
crazy,
energy
crazy.
works?
Yeah, and like when you become so close to God and like you understand the divinity, everything, you start to understand that everything mattered from day one, from when you were born, all the little things from elementary school to middle school to high school. You start to understand that all the little things that happened to you those times, it mattered. It like mattered to this point. Like it comes up. Your past comes up in a good way, though,
Yeah,
in a good way, like where it created you to who you are now, or it helps you even just sharpen up to who you're supposed to be. Like
exactly.
it could be as little as a book that you received at in middle school. Now you never read it. You just put it in the back burner. Now it came up to when you're in your mid 20s or late early 30s. Now it's your time to read that book.
Right.
Like, but you had that book since third grade.
Right. And if you
It
think
was
about
gifted
it,
to you.
I mean, think
You
about
never
this
thought about
too.
it.
Right. And think about this too. Did you ever really think to have a podcast right now with someone who it happens to be your aunt that you just met in 2022?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Did you plan
yeah.
that or did God plan that?
God did plan it.
Exactly. I didn't talk to you when you were a little kid say, "Hey, we're going to do a podcast when we grow up." No.
Right.
None of that happened, okay?
Yeah.
You didn't think about being a fighter when you were a little kid. You were probably thinking
No.
about maybe becoming
I was
a
just
police
watching
officer.
Pacquiao.
Huh?
Yeah. I just remember watching the Pacquiao fights.
Oh shoot. What was your thought process?
I think I was like, hey, that's cool. He's a professional fighter, you know? I thought that was cool. And I thought at the time
Oh.
basketball was my sport, but I never thought I was gonna get in a cage or a ring
Yeah.
like that. And
I mean,
so,
think
yeah,
about
it's
it, the
just crazy.
energy that you were watching a Pacquiao fight, right? And you never thought like, oh, he's cool, like he's a Filipino dude, like he's fighting.
Yeah,
Never would have thought that you would be in the exact same, like it's not the exact same cage, of course, but you were going to be in the cage fighting. But think about
yeah,
this. That energy followed you in a sense because you were really fixated watching what you were watching, and then that energy attracted to you and it came into your reality.
right.
God literally spoke to you at that moment. You didn't even realize it when you were a little kid that, hey, I'm actually giving you the glimpse of what your life is going to look like.
Hmm.
See what I'm saying? That's why I tell
Yeah.
people live in the moment because you don't know when God is speaking to you in the now. And what you're actually
Yes.
seeing is
And
a
that's
glimpse of
another
your
thing
future.
too. Like, I realize God speaks to us in different ways. Like, it's so crazy. Like, you don't think he's talking to you, but like he doesn't talk in words. He talks in aha moments. Like, you're like, what the heck? Like, that's what you were like, that's like it's like, oh shoot, like what a coincidence, or like you have a strong feeling that God's showing you something.
Yep, exactly. And I became frozen for some odd reason. I'm sorry, folks. There you go. So here's the thing. And I just realized something too. Like when I was growing up in high school, I was actually giving a lot of advices to my friends. Like I was their freaking therapist. I was
Yeah.
giving love advices. I was giving like, advices on what to do when it comes to certain situations. Like, and I said to myself, man, I need to get paid for this. And then lo and behold, I became a therapist growing up and having my own business as a coach, like almost like Tony Robbins in some sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, never in my wildest dreams I was even gonna be like this, having a podcast, having a YouTube. None of these things was even in my agenda. But here's the thing: now that I look back, as you had your aha moment when you were watching Pacquiao fight, all of a sudden you're a fighter. I'm over here as a little girl talking about being a like being a therapist for all my friends. I wasn't even realizing I was already manifesting being that. See how God,
Right.
you actually made a good point. God talks to you in your aha moments, and you're like, what the heck? I'm like, I actually did that when I was a little girl. And you're coming here in the present moment, and you're like, holy crap, I manifested this a long time ago. See what I'm saying,
Yeah.
people?
Yeah.
Don't miss out in the present moment because you never know what you're going to miss out on your glimpse of your moment of your future.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, just little things. Little things.
It's like I told you, God gives you breadcrumbs. You just don't even know it. You're not taking
Yeah.
the breadcrumbs because you're just like, it's breadcrumbs because I'm so impatient. Let's just be real, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, but you think about it, it's like breadcrumbs are you pick were used, if you think about it in a analogy, like you use breadcrumbs to reel in different animals, right? So God's just using these breadcrumbs to really keep us moving forward.
Yep.
Like
He's
now
talking.
you're just picking at the breadcrumbs, one breadcrumb at a time until you get to the homeland.
Great. We became pigeons until we became to the Noah's Ark.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like,
So
we
he's just
became the
leading
animals to
us.
go to Noah's Ark. That's what
He's
happened
leading
there.
us. I see breadcrumbs, but there's also a story in the Bible where we're sheep. We're supposed to be sheep and God's our shepherd. So if he's leading us he's corralling us, he's
Hmm.
using his staff to just guide us to where we're supposed to go.
Yeah. And that's just very true facts. And like I
Yeah.
said, everything that's been happening with you, it's literally already been blueprinted You just
Yeah.
have to learn how to maneuver it to your energy, to your reality, to really see it rather than missing out on it. This
Right.
is the reason why when I teach you guys, and you've known this from my, personal coaching program, the reason why I teach you guys that is because I want you to live it in the present moment. That's the whole point of the program. So that way you don't miss out the glimmer glimpse of the future that God is showing you. When you miss out on those glimmer glimpses, you're going to miss out on the guidance that God is actually speaking to you of. And I'm realizing that myself. Like, holy crap, I am not listening. I'm missing out on it because I'm not listening. And guess what? Now I'm listening. I'm connected to my soul. And guess what? Amazing things have happened to me in such a quick amount of time. I have no idea when. And it's an amazing feeling. And I said to everybody, don't miss out on the now because that now is your future, but you just don't see it because you're impatient about it. I
Yeah.
hope you get what I'm saying, Paulo. I hope you do.
No, I do. I do. Yeah, so just enjoy the now, like just understand. But you need to do the work to
Hmm.
get you
To get to do.
in position
Hmm.
for enjoying the now. Like you need to do the work because there's work that needs to be done. Like, and it's not so much like work, but it's like mentally writing down, like being more aware of who you are and like seeing
Spiritually
how
connecting to your soul.
exactly, exactly.
Hmm. It's really the mind and the soul together. The body is just the outer shell. You know what I mean? Gratitude, we need to take care of the body like it's the temple. You know what I mean? Because it's your temple. Like you got to take care of your body. But you need to have the mind to be healthy and the soul connected as a balance.
Right,
It needs to be balanced together because if it's not balanced, the brain's going to be like, "Oh, there goes your soul again. It's been stupid. Like you're not being in stillness. You are
yeah,
impatient. So you don't have your soul. So your
right.
mind is going to tell you otherwise and you're going to be like, I'm lost."
And it's crazy how much your subconscious is like it's one with your soul, I think, because you can feed your subconscious a lot of things that are not that don't serve you, and it could mess up a lot of the other things because I personally experienced this firsthand where you'll just be watching things on your phone that don't really serve you, and I'll have a really bad weird dream when I wake up.
That's
And
called the
it's weird
doom
because
scrolling.
yeah, and that's weird because uh I won't remember any other dream but that dream. Like I don't remember any of the dreams I've had previous nights, but then that bad dream, I know vividly. I'm like, what the heck? That's so weird.
Hmm. The
So,
subconscious.
like I told my students, some of the students that I have is like really hone into what you're watching. Understand that that is entering your subconscious and
It
you
can
need to
manifest.
really yeah, it could.
It can manifest. It
It
really
could.
can. I'm so glad you brought that up. But I want to make that as the next topic for our next episode because we are running out of time. This is a good topic today, but again, I want to say congratulations on your belt. We are halfway on the mark of the from the dream to reality. Please read my newsletter, people. If you guys are my day ones, don't miss out on my newsletter. Pop in, pop I. Go ahead and subscribe. Subscribe into our channel as well too. And which, by the way, I'm gonna go ahead and enter a clip over here at the end of this video of Paulo's little highlights. You guys are not gonna watch the whole fight, but I'll go ahead and give you guys a little sparkle of what his glory fight looked like for his featherweight champion. And be sure to hone in with us so you can guys find out when the next fight will be because he has three more fights before he goes pro. Because just letting you know, tickets are a lot cheaper right now, but it's about to get expensive. So I just want to let you know because the dream is about to become real. I mean, it's already reality now, but the dream is about to become even more reality. So I already see this. Again, congratulations on your fight, Paulo. I'm more than proud to be your partner on this podcast. And I'm also more proud of you guys' team, including yourself, for Just even setting your foot into the cage is a lot of bravery work. People don't see that, but I see it. It's bloody, you guys. Trust me, I see it. I'm all like, it's pretty bloody. But more than likely, for our next time podcast episode, we want to go ahead and talk about the subconscious. You know how that's manifesting, because that's a really good topic, and I'm glad that you brought that up because I really believe everybody needs to understand the differences of the subconscious versus the consciousness, because it does have a lot of things to do with the mind and the soul of balance. And good topic. So until then, thank you guys so much for coming into our podcast channel. I am saying peace out. Paulo, you have anything to say with the audience before we leave here?
No, uh, no. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys again next week.
Yep. See you guys next week. Bye, guys. All right.